Jambo, Sabuana, bonjour, bom dia, salam alaikum, and good morning. How is everybody today? How many fathers do we have in the room? Did you have a good Father's Day, though it was here in the United States? Happy Father's Day late. On behalf of the Office of the Secretary of Defense, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to our National Capital Region and the 15th Annual Africa Center for Strategic Studies Senior Leaders Seminar. I am Mike Garrison. I'm the Acting Director of the Africa Center, and again, it's my pleasure to have you here. This flagship program for us started in 1999, and today we start a two-week journey to discuss Africa's ever-changing and complex security challenges and the key and essential roles leadership and good governance play in protecting the sovereignty of one's country and the rights of its people. This is a very special program this year. Not only is it our 15th such seminar, but it is the first Senior Leaders Seminar led by our new Dean of Academics, Dr. Raymond Gilpin. And I know you met him yesterday, and he went through a very detailed review or overview of the program. But we also have some very special participants with us. One being, I'm very excited and pleased to welcome His Excellency Jeffrey Mwamba, Minister of Defense of the Republic of Zambia. Mr. Minister, welcome. We also have 58 very senior representatives representing 36 African countries and several participants from the United States. And of course, I'm also very pleased to welcome back our previous Dean, Dr. Mandi Muyangwa. Mandi, welcome back. Thank you. She'll be with us as an adjunct professor emeritus, working with us this week and next week. Africa's geostrategic and security landscape has changed dramatically over the past 20 years, and this will only accelerate over the next 20 years. Violent extremism, transnational crime, illicit trafficking, poverty reduction, corruption, poor governance, climate change, cybercrime, rapid advancement in technology, and the effects of state and non-state actors scramble for Africa's minerals and other natural resources threaten security and stability in ways today that were never conceived some 10, 15, 20 years ago. This volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, VUCA, as the Army War College calls it, of the security landscape mandates security leaders be adaptable, flexible, agile, intuitive, and able to anticipate risks and look for new solutions in response to unprecedented and unpredictable world. Throughout this unpredictable period, ethical leadership and the rule of law, democratic governance, transparency in government, excuse me, including the security sector, are critical elements to ensure Africa assumes its place as a stable and competent partner in the global economy. Some years ago, President John F. Kennedy said, "Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other." I believe this quote well exemplifies our intent for the next 2 weeks, to bring senior African security leaders together, to explore strategic leadership and decision-making, legitimacy in government, military professionalism, ethics, civil-military relations, and many other issues affecting African stability. We intend to do this in a rigorous educational environment where we learn from each other, discuss and often disagree on the issues we talk about, and explore ways to forge partnerships for Africa's future. These discussions will be framed in a larger dialogue on African security in the 21st century, in a total non-attribution environment. And I know we covered that with you yesterday. We intend to challenge you every day through a comprehensive syllabus and course of instruction. Dr. Matt Honipo, as usual, has done a tremendous job putting this program together, revising it from last year's program, and next year's program will even be further revised. He has brought together some tremendous international subject matter experts on security, some great facilitators to help manage the program for the next 2 weeks. So Matt, thank you very much. However, all the work that we do from the center cannot make this program a success without your input. So we need to ensure that you are engaged. And as it was reported to me this morning, I don't think that's going to be a problem this year. I think the conversations that took place yesterday in the team building exercise were very, very open and engaging. So that is a great sign. But this engagement, you meeting other subject matter experts, practitioners of security from the region, from across the continent, is the most important element of this program. So please participate with 100% of your ability. The relationships you make here over the course of the next 2 weeks will stay with you or have the potential to stay with you for years to come. And that is really, truly our intent. We certainly will engage with you, we hope, for years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a distinct pleasure now for me to introduce our keynote address speaker, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for African Affairs, Ms. Amanda Dory. Amanda is a tremendous supporter of the Africa Center, has championed our programs not only within the Department of Defense, but also within the interagency in the United States. Ms. Dory's bio is in your program materials, so I won't read it to you. However, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about a few of the highlights of her bio. Ms. Dory is the senior-most Department of Defense official dealing with African U.S. security policy in Africa. She is a member of the Senior Executive Services and held several key positions since joining the Department of Defense in 1994. She actually started off in the office that she now directs, and I think you had the same job I had, the Southern Africa Country Director in West Africa eventually, in the Office of Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs. She was most recently the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Strategy, and this is a key job within our Department of Defense. She was responsible for strategy, articulation, development of force planning scenarios, policy planning and analysis, and long-term trends and the future security environment. She was responsible for a major element of the Quadrennial Defense Review, which is, in our business in the Department of Defense, is a very significant planning document for the future. And in fact, she received a Presidential Rank Award for her work on the 2010 QDR, and specifically on the security implications of climate and energy trends. She was the Director of Planning and Integration for the Office of the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Homeland Defense, and she assumed her current position as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for African Affairs in 2011. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming a dear friend of the Africa Center, Ms. Amanda Dory.